How y'all doing? Hey guys. Hey. Well, hey guys, welcome back. It's Miss Gay, and it's been about a year. So let's just catch up a little bit. Let's get on the same page, and then we'll get into the video about Yellowjackets. Here are a few updates, a couple other things. Guys, I got engaged. Ah. She's off the market. I found out I had OCD. Let's hear it in the chat. I found out I had OCD. Super exciting. Not really. Existential OCD kicked my... Wait. Hey! Hey! I was so... Hey, I'm so self-obsessed. I've been looking at myself in the viewfinder. I've just been looking at myself in the viewfinder. Sorry, this feels... I don't know what I'm looking at. I know that last time I made a video, I talked about wanting to make a Yellowjackets Season 1 recap, in-depth video. Here's the thing, I scripted that a year ago, and I just don't have it in me to... I just want to make a YouTube video. So we're going to be doing recapping Yellowjackets Season 1 from memory! I do want to preface. Let me preface, I made notes, but they're like my memory notes. The only thing I researched was where the season ended, so I didn't accidentally spoil things from Season 2, because I could not remember where Season 1 ended and Season 2 began. So let me put my glasses on, and let's get into it, shall we? Okay, characters. Starting off strong, we have Jackie, we have Shauna, we have Thaisa and Natalie and Misty. Those are the main 5 I remember, but there are also Van, Laura Lee, Mari, Travis, Coach Ben, Javi, Aquila, and Jeff. So here's what I remember from the teen plot. Mind you, I watched this at least 2 years ago, probably more like 2.5 to 3. It's been a minute. It starts out with Pit Girl, and I will always remember that. You figure out later in the show who Pit Girl is, and she is in fact finna be in the pit. After we see Pit Girl, boom! Welcome to suburbia, okay? We're in New Jersey. We're at soccer practice. Thaisa really wants to get this one girl off the team because she just like doesn't like her or something. I think her name's Annie, Allie, Amy, whatever. So Thaisa tackles her and breaks her leg. Yeah, she gets her leg broken brutally playing soccer, but good news is she doesn't go and get stranded in the wilderness. So that's big news for Allie. We also learn Jackie and Shauna are BFFs. Okay, Jackie says that they're going to go to Rutgers together and they're going to room, and she's like planning their dorm colors and everything. The girls are qualified to go to nationals. It doesn't matter how we got there. But they're going to nationals, which is, I think, in Seattle or something. It's across the country. And they're in New Jersey, remember that. But that night, before they get on the plane to go to nationals, they're going to a party, okay? Natalie is tripping at this party with her, like, black sheep friends. I don't know, like, they're just goth and alternative. So she's tripping at this party with her friends. The girls are fighting. A lot of the girls are fighting, really. Actually, all of them, in fact. Tensions are high, and you know how teenage girls are. You're gonna be fighting. You're gonna be fighting. I have literally never fought so much in my life as I did when I was a teenage girl. So they're getting into it. It's dark. It's a bonfire. Natalie's tripping. Jackie's like, you know what? Bonding moment. And she lines all of them up. And then everyone has to say something nice about another person. And so then they have like this cute little like bonding moment. And Jackie's like, and Shauna's like, that's my girl. Yeah. And so they have this cute moment and then they go to bed. But you know who doesn't go to bed? Shauna, because Shauna is sleeping with Jackie's boyfriend, Jeff. Wow. Anyway, so she sleeps with him. She's like, tell me you love me. You don't have to mean it. I do remember that. I do, in fact, remember that. Crazy. But you know what? After that, she goes home, she sleeps. Then it's time for nationals. Lottie's dad is loaded. He pays for them to get on a private jet. So all the girls are on a jet. Shauna's feeling a little nervous for the flight. And Jackie's like, here, I have drugs. Take this. You'll go to sleep. No problem. We do need to mention this before I forget. Like, they show their morning routines and stuff, like them getting ready to go to get on this plane to go to nationals, to whoop butt and whatever. And we do see Lottie take a medicine that has a similar name to a real-life medicine that's used to treat schizophrenia. So that's probably going to be relevant later, ladies. Lottie's taking anti-schizophrenia medication. Shauna is, I don't know, coping with the fact that she's sleeping with her best friend's boyfriend. And Shauna's knocked out. She's asleep. She comes to when the plane is all, oh my gosh, what's going on? The plane is going down in the Canadian wilderness. The plane is going down in the Canadian wilderness. You gotta wake up, Shauna, okay? You gotta wake up. Whatever, plane goes down, and quite a few people die in the crash. I don't remember everyone who died. There were a number of people. Misty Quigley immediately gets into action. She is on the scene. She has Girl Scout survival skills, okay? She's up there. She's amputating Coach Ben's leg. So we should mention, remember Travis and Javi? So they're the sons of the head coach. Coach Ben is the assistant coach. Head coach is dead. He fell out of the plane during the crash and got impaled. Rest in peace, King. Travis and Javi are obviously distressed because their father is dead in the Canadian wilderness. They must persist. This is her story, okay? So they are working with what they've got. Natalie has alcohol. They're using it to clean wounds. Misty's on the go. She's using her survival techniques and yada, yada, yada. They're being resourceful girls, okay? They are bound and determined to survive this. The person who's leading this survival charge is Misty Quigley, the girl who amputated Coach Ben's leg. She's leading this, and she's getting positive attention. She's not really in with the girls. Do you know what I mean? They're not friends like that, the same way that Jackie and Shauna are and whatever. Now that she's here, she's taken charge, she's amputated a leg, she's given out directions to everyone. She is being praised for her survival skills. She is feeling so welcomed and included. She doesn't want this to end. So, when all the other girls are busy or sleeping or doing something else, they're distracted, I don't remember what, Misty finds the emergency plane transmitter, smashes it, and then hides it because she doesn't want this to end. It is crazy, the lengths that teenage girls will go through in order to feel included, and I can't blame them. I probably would have done the same thing. Probably not, because I've had anxiety, so sorry, and existential OCD. I didn't want to die. Now that the plane transmitter is destroyed, Ben is missing a leg, the head coach is dead. They decide to have a burial service for all the people who passed away during the plane crash, and they bury them near the plane. So after the burial service, they decide to stay near the plane crash for a little bit because they're holding out on them finding the plane and then finding the girls. So they're trying to stay near the plane crash, but there's not a lot of resources there. They're in the Canadian wilderness. They need water. They're going to need food. They need to forage food and stuff like that. So they decide that they need to move, but not all of them want to move, understandably so. There's this vote. Ultimately, I think Jackie ended up having the final says just because she was team captain, but they end up going to this lake that Van found. So they go to this lake, and near the lake there's a cabin nearby. Ding, 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 shelter. They have water, and now they have shelter. This is big news, people. They can survive this. One issue, though, there's a literal dead body in the attic. They don't let this hinder them, though, because they are in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by miles of wilderness. So the girls decide, you know what, we'll just bury this man and take his house. And it's fine, because he's dead, so he doesn't need his supplies anyway. They take the cabin, they take all of his supplies, and they bury him with the rest of the plane crash victims. R.E.P. In the house, there is a hunting rifle and bullets, and Travis is like, I'm a man. I'm a male. I'll go hunt. Okay, well then I'm gonna go hunt. But Natalie, trigger warning, kinda. Natalie accidentally shot her father. She didn't shoot him. It was the gun malfunctioned or discharged on accident. She wasn't trying to kill her dad. But she killed her dad with a gun. And so she's like, no, I can shoot a gun too. Ooh, okay. So this leads to Natalie and Travis having more time to bond together. They go hunting together. They're out looking for deer and whatnot together. Okay, so let's just touch base really quick. Natalie and Travis are hunting together. Coach Ben is missing half a leg. Misty Quigley has taken charge and has self-appointed as leader. Jackie is still holding on to being leader because she's technically captain. I think those are all the main points. They find a plane. Woo! So they find a plane, and we get this backstory about Laura Lee, which up until this moment, I think she's just been praying a lot. She's very Christian, very religious. So she's just been praying a lot. She like prayed during the burial and whatnot. They find this plane and she's like, oh my gosh, my grandpa like knew how to fly planes. I'll read the manual and fly a plane. Cool. That's her thing now. Travis and Natalie hunting, Jackie's trying to lead, Misty is doing survival efforts, and now Laura Lee's going to read a plane manual and learn to fly it out of the Canadian wilderness. That's where we're at right now, at least as far as I can remember. It's also important to remember, hey Lottie, she doesn't have any more schizophrenia medication. She's starting to have delusions, and quite a few of them, may we add. I don't remember all of her delusions at this point, but I do know that Laura Lee says it's the Holy Spirit moving in Lottie and baptizes her in the lake. And she has like another delusion of like, I think Laura Lee dying in a fire or something. I don't remember all of it. I'm sorry. But she has like these visions of fire and Laura Lee's telling her that's the Holy Spirit within you. Van and Thaisa are gay. So put them in like this little gay club corner over here. 2 gay characters so far, Van and Thaisa, they're together. I don't know what happened to make me remember that, but during this, Jackie's feeling a little lost because she doesn't have a ton of skills that these other girls do. She can't amputate a leg like Misty Quigley. She doesn't know how to fly a plane like Laura Lee. She can't shoot a gun like Natalie can. She thinks back on this memory she has with her coach when he was explaining why he chose her as the captain, and it's not because she was the greatest player or anything, it's because she was really good at bringing the group together. And she's seeing right now, we need some group morale. We need to boost morale around this camp because it's getting really depressing. And so how else are you going to do that in the middle of Canadian wilderness if not host a seance in the attic where you found the dead guy's body in the cabin in the middle of nowhere? So they decide to host a seance. Lottie loses it. Like, there is no other way to put it. They're hosting this. Laura Lee's downstairs because she's Christian. She doesn't want to mess with any of that. She's reading the Bible or the plane manual. I literally cannot remember which one it was. Maybe both. But she's downstairs and everyone else is upstairs. And then Lottie literally just loses it. She like bangs her head onto the window in the attic and starts speaking French. And so she's like bleeding and speaking French, and she's just like never learned how to speak French. So everyone's kind of really confused at this moment. And everyone's trying to figure out, is she possessed? Is this schizophrenia and delusion? Maybe it's both, or maybe it's Maybelline. Next point, Shauna's pregnant with Jeff's child. Jeff being Jackie's boyfriend. Yes. So she's pregnant. She's been trying to hide it from everyone, but you can really only hide that so long when you're all having periods next to each other. And so she's been like dipping her like fake pads in like deer blood and then putting them with the other pads to get cleaned. Really gross, honestly. Trying to fake it, but Thaisa caught her because Thaisa is perceptive to these things. So she confronts her and she's like, you're pregnant. And Shauna kind of panics a little bit and she's like, yeah, but why don't we just get rid of it? Like in the middle of the Canadian wilderness? How do you plan on doing that? With like a metal rod. But okay, it fails. She's still pregnant, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. But we need to get back to Misty Quigley. Misty saved Coach Ben, but probably selfishly for herself. Misty has the biggest, fattest crush on Coach Ben. Bad news though, gay club corner. Ben is gay and has a boyfriend named Paul who lives in Brooklyn. But Misty doesn't know this, and she has a crush on Ben, who it's weird because he's also literally her coach and older than her. Very, whatever, you get what I'm putting down. She's acting kind of crazy and like, I think she tries to like hurt him or threaten him or poison him or something. And so then he's like, the only way I can keep this girl from killing me is to like tell her I secretly love her and that it has to be a secret. That's what they're doing. Misty, like, I like you, but the other girls can't know. They'll get jealous. And she's like, yeah. So that's where we're at with Misty right now. Back to Lottie. She's still having visions. Laura Lee is still telling her it's the Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit. But she keeps having like these weird visions. I know one of them involved like a river turning red and like Van getting, or like someone getting attacked by a wolf, and they're like, nah, and then it happens and Van gets attacked by a wolf and they're like, yeah, we're gonna follow you like we're in a cult now. I don't know how else to politely put that. She predicted things happened, now she has a cult in the middle of the Canadian wilderness. Good for her, all things considered, I guess. girl bossing. So even though Van is attacked by these wolves that I just mentioned, she survives. They actually do a fantastic job of patching her face up. Thank you, Misty Quigley. I don't know if she fixed her face, but someone did, and they did a pretty good job. So her face is all stitched up and put back together. It's the fall now, and the girls want to have a little party. Morale has been low. Van got attacked. They feel like they can't leave because of Lottie's weird visions. So they're like, let's just have a little dance party. Let's have a little dance party. And that is what they do. They're gonna have a little dance party. There's just one issue that happens. They all get drugged because Misty found these mushrooms she was going to use to drug Coach Ben, and someone grabs them and puts them into like the punch, I guess, that they're making. And yeah, so now everyone's tripping. And they're wearing these like masks, so it's supposed to be like a masquerade ball, and they're all tripping and howling and screaming because they don't have music, so they're like singing together and they're tripping. Can I say that again? And then it gets bad. We need to fill in some cracks that I have forgotten up until this point. Jackie has picked up that there's something wrong with Shauna, and she's been hiding something, and it's important to note Shauna keeps diaries, just physical evidence lying around for everyone. She keeps these diaries, and Jackie finds out that Shauna is pregnant with Jeff's child, and Shauna tells her that it's Jeff's best friend Randy's child. But Jackie doesn't really believe Shauna. Then she kind of like puts it together that, you know, she's slept with Jeff, but she thought her and Jeff were gonna wait and do it together. But now she's realized that hasn't happened, and she doesn't want to die a virgin in the Canadian wilderness. So what does she do? There's one prospect here, and she goes for it. She's like, I'm gonna sleep with Travis. And so they're whatever, everyone else is tripping and screaming outside. They're in the cabin together. They interrupt while they're all tripping, and then everyone starts chasing after Travis. The girls who are tripping run after Travis, harass and assault him, and attempt to do worse. And then they run, and like they're running after him, screaming, hooting, hollering, and Lottie's like, Shauna, you have to kill him. And they're at this tree thing, and Shauna's getting ready to kill him, but Natalie's like, do not kill Travis. I don't know what she says, but they don't kill him because Natalie came to defend him. During all this madness, Javi's missing now. Keep that in mind for later. Javi, gone. He ran away because Travis was like, these girls are insane. You need to get out of here right now. So Javi bolts into the Canadian wilderness. Now the cat's kind of out of the bag. I guess you could say that Jackie knows that something's up with Shauna. It's more than out of the bag. So then they get in this fight, and it's like a confrontation, and Jackie's like, I know it's not Randy's kid, it's Jeff's kid, and you've been sleeping with my boyfriend. And then they get in a fight, and something about Shauna being in Jackie's shadow, and Shauna's like, well, I got into Brown. Who said I want to go to Rutgers? That's your plan. And the girls are fighting, but Jackie's like, I'm gonna go sleep outside in defiance. Little do we know, it's the first night of winter, the snow put out her fire, Jackie froze to death outside in the Canadian wilderness. Rest in peace, Jackie, for real. Shauna loses it. Fade to black. There you go. Okay, there's the teen timeline. We have two timelines going on during all this. So there's the teen, and then the adult timeline. I remember much less from the adult timeline, if I'm going to be honest. So we meet Shauna. She's married to Jeff now. R.I.P. Jackie. Stole her man after she died in the freezing winter. Sorry. So Shauna's married to Jeff. They have a daughter named Callie, and she's currently in high school. Thaisa, we meet her. She's a politician, and I think she's running for the governor or like senator in New Jersey. Literal quote from the show. I don't know if it's from this season or a later one, but literally Queer Kamala is a quote from the show. We see Misty. She survived the wilderness. Yippee, Misty. She's working as an assisted living or like nursing home facility nurse. And we kind of open with there's this like journalist who's poking around these different plane crash survivors, asking if they'll publish their story for 7 figures. They may want to keep that under wraps. And you're right. They do want to keep that under wraps. And so Shauna, who was contacted by the journalist, contacts the other girls, Thaisa, Misty, Natalie. She's like, hey girls, what's going on? They're trying to buy me. But Misty is crazy. She's got the back of all these girls. She kidnaps the journalist, keeps her in her basement, questions her, and then ultimately kills her. Yikes. Little do we know, Thaisa hired the journalist. She was like a private investigator, seeing if any of the girls were gonna open their mouth about what happened in the wilderness while she's trying to run for this political position. They're also being blackmailed for $50,000. And they thought that like the journalist was involved in that, but Thaisa knew that the journalist wasn't involved because she hired her, but she couldn't say anything because she didn't need the other girls to know that she hired the journalist to investigate them. They're being blackmailed. Shauna's frustrated. At some point she gets in a fender bender with a dude named Adam. They hit it off. He writes her number on her arm. She eventually calls him and starts an affair with Adam because she thinks that Jeff is cheating on her with some woman. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Okay, ladies, am I right? So at some point, Natalie comes back into town because of the whole, investigative journalist and blackmail stuff that's going on. And Travis is missing, and she wants to find Travis. With the help of Misty Quigley and her private citizen detective or whatever it is, they start hunting down Travis. Travis is ultimately found dead, and the cops think it was suicide, but Natalie is 100% certain that it was not, and it was in fact murder. And so now her and Misty are on the hunt to figure out who led Travis to his death. Amidst all this, Callie figures out that Shauna's cheating on Jeff with this man because they see each other at a party, and Callie, Shauna's daughter, is wearing Jackie's old soccer uniform. Implications. This action will have consequences. She tries to blackmail her mom. Little does she know, her mom is already being blackmailed for way worse. And so that fails. So now she knows there's something wrong with her parents' marriage. There's just like all this stuff going on. And she's also still in high school with a loser boyfriend. During all of this, Thaisa's also losing her marbles. Okay? She was eating dirt outside of her son's window. Also, she's married. She has a wife named Simone. But her son saw her eating dirt outside of his window at night. Really weird. Thaisa doesn't have memory of this. Natalie is also seeing one of her friends from high school now. His name's Kevin, and he's like a sheriff or a cop in town or something. And so she's like with him now. But the night that they have to go get the blackmailer, she steals his cop gun and takes it with her to go confront this blackmailer. So the plan they have set up is they put like a tracker in the duffel bag with the cash, but they also include a glitter bomb because they're like, you can't get rid of glitter, which is true, you can't get rid of glitter. The blackmailer unfortunately gets away, but Natalie sets this gun off, and then she sneaks back into the hotel with Kevin and puts the gun back in his like holster or whatever. Then in the morning he's like, did you take my gun? I have to know where all these bullets are. He's upset with Natalie, and so Natalie just kind of lets out, fizzle out at that point. She's like, well, I hate to lose a friend over it, but I can't tell you what's going on. We're being blackmailed. Amidst this, Shauna at some point sneaks Adam into her house, into her marital bed. Jeff comes home during this, and she has to hide Adam in the closet. This will be relevant. This is why I remember it. She hides Adam in the closet whenever Jeff comes home. R.I.P. No one died, but Thaisa's wife left her because she's being really, really weird. While Shauna's being a stay-at-home wife and mother, she goes to her closet and opens the safe where she's apparently been keeping journals, the journals she filled while she was in the wilderness, just full proof of everything that they did. She's keeping these journals in her safe, and she realizes they're gone. And then she opens up her closet door to do some laundry and sees glitter in her closet. Who did she put in the closet? Adam. Adam is the blackmailer. So she goes over to his apartment. She finds a book that's about the mysteries of the accident that happened to the Yellowjackets, whatever. She kills Adam. She's like, you're the blackmailer. Newsflash, he wasn't the blackmailer, but now she's killed Adam. Even though she killed Adam and he didn't do anything wrong, the girls help. They come together, have a girls' night, dispose of the body, whatever. Sean is still trying to figure out, okay, well then who was the blackmailer, because my journals are missing. It was your husband. Your husband had access to those journals in your safe in the closet that you share. He has access to the closet in your marital home. Okay? They talk about it. They agree to keep all this a secret because they want to save their marriage and their family, because Jeff was the blackmailer, and so he's like, okay, well, no one needs to know I blackmailed, no one needs to know that you killed Adam. Allie figures it out, and Shauna just tells her daughter, yeah, I killed him. Yeah, your dad blackmailed me. Okay, amazing. And kind of blackmails Callie, or like guilt trips her into keeping this a secret so both of her parents won't go to jail. Thaisa ends up winning the electoral race for whatever it was again. Then we find out that Lottie was involved in Travis's death because of money. Lottie took like 50 grand from Travis right before he died. And that is what I remember from season 1. Honestly, very crazy season, but season 2 is bonkers. Everything I remember from season 2 I seriously thought was in season 1. Whenever I researched where season 1 ended, I seriously could not believe that it stopped with Jackie dying. Because even though I covered the teen timeline first, in the show I think Jackie dying is like the last thing that we see. Did you think there was something paranormal? Do you think there was not something paranormal? Do you think it was just Lottie's schizophrenia? I don't know. What was your theory? Do you think there was no it? I forgot so much from this show. I seriously feel like I forgot so much. Let me know what I forgot. Let me know what I forgot that was actually extremely relevant to the plot. If you've stuck around, thank you for watching this video. I know it's been a year, and I know this is kind of random, out of left field. Hopefully more where this came from, and if not, I'll see you again next year, and by then I'll be married, and hopefully living somewhere new and exciting, even though I'm already living somewhere new and exciting. Let me know your theories about Yellowjackets. Do you want to see another Yellowjackets video? Do you want to see other TV shows or movies recap from my memory? Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, check out my Instagram, Miskay_Crystal, and come back here. Hopefully I'll have another video posted in less than a year. Alright, bye!